Hello, everybody. Welcome to your weekly wisdom with Rukmani. Pleasure to be here in this wonderful week with you. So today I'll be talking about the power of Yoga Asana. And just to clarify, what I mean by Yoga Asana, asana means position in Sanskrit. And there is this condition in the world that the practice of Yoga Asana is only for those who are flexible or those that can do all these crazy poses. And that's not really the point of it. And this is why I'm talking about this, because your practice is a perfect mirror of your life. Let me say this again. Your practice, your Yoga Asana practice, is a perfect mirror of your life. When you step onto your mat, whether it's a home or in a studio, you can actually bring up a question, an inquiry for yourself, for your practice of that hour of 90 minutes, however long it is, and paying really deeply attention. So are you trying to force something, right? And this is why the practice of the breath is such a key component, because when you lose the breath, right, it's like you're pushing too hard. And so this is a mirror of what's happening in your life. What's happening in your life? Are you trying to push something too hard for manifestation? Or are you trying to force something into happening? So it's the perfect awareness for me. And of course, many might not resonate. Maybe some might be like, no, yoga is not for me. And totally, I honor where you are. If you haven't tried Yoga Asana, I invite you to do so. I was very hesitant to at the beginning, especially because when I was told by my ex, like you should try Yoga Asana, I was like in such a depressive state that I was like, don't tell me what to do. I mean, I didn't say that, but in my head, that's what I was thinking. Like, you're just trying to fix me. And it's not about fixing. It's just like, because yoga brings you into the present moment. So yoga is union, yoking, right? The union of yourself. And this is why I love the practice. It works with the elements. It works with the elements. When you understand that you are the merge of the elements, then it helps you to understand what practices are good for you. It's the same thing with Kundalini yoga. This is why I stick to so many practices, because they work with all the elements to help me balance my elements out. And that is what I'm all about, to getting to know myself even more, to understand more how the elements work. So if you're curious about it and Kundalini yoga just gives you like, I don't know, just try something. Most people are in the go all the time and their mind is racing because they're not present with the breath. And so in the practice of Yoga Asana, if you lose the breath, then like maybe a little panic can come through, and then just take a step back and go back into it. And so the moments that you're using the breath and syncing with the movements of the body, you're putting the mind into centerness. And then you're allowing the physical body, your earth elements, the breath, the air elements, the fire, your spirits, and also the inner fire that you're building, and the water, the emotions, what you're feeling at the moment, to be in unity. Because then you're paying attention, you're fully present. You cannot be upside down if you are in Lala world. Or it doesn't even matter upside down, even being in the most simple pose, or if we can call this simple, like some of the most challenging poses for me are actually the ones that look simple. And so just being there, present there, is a moment of self-love. It's a moment that you can recognize where you're trying to push harder or where you are hiding from. What are you hiding from in your life? Are you hiding from your own light? Are you hiding from your own shadows? Or are you hiding from both? So when you bring awareness and an inquiry into your own yoga practice, it can totally help you to see things differently. And again, it's a moment of self-love that you step into the mat, right? Most people that practice yoga asana and any kind of yoga modality really for a really long time, Why do they do it? Because they love themselves and like behind the scenes, and this is not me talking for everybody, but like most people that I work with and that I know is because they know it helps them. That is something in there that the time they step into the mat, they're present and nothing else matters. It's just like their own little bubble of transformation that gets built, that you access this portal transformation as you step into the mat. And it doesn't matter like if like the world is collapsing around you, you are there with yourself and you are centered. And this doesn't mean that it's easy all the time. It just really depends. But this is also the beauty of it, because life changes all the time. It's in constant change. And so when you realize that too, it helps you understand that the practice is not going to be the same every single day. And sometimes you will not want to show up. And those are the days where you want to show up, like really show up. There was last week, there was a moment where I woke up, I didn't want to do my sadhana practice, my Kundalini yoga practice, but I did it. I stuck with it. And I'm glad I did, because I had this massive release and awareness. And so this is the beauty, and the power of a yoga asana practice, to help you be in unity with yourself, to help you balance all the elements and remembering why you're doing it, So I invite you to give yourself an opportunity to see how that feels like, but not from the point of like, I'm going to try this and I'm going to do this pose and I'm going to stay in this pose and be just like, like I used to be like that. And I just use so much force and strength, and my eyes will like almost like pop out of my face, until one of my sisters that was facilitating the space just came into my shoulders, relaxed me, and my eyes relaxed. And that's when she told me later, it's like, your eyes were so tight, so tense. It doesn't have to be that way. So I was forcing many things, and I didn't realize that I could see my practice as a perfect mirror of my life. So when I step into my mat nowadays, I ask a question. And I normally ask like, okay, what is it that I need to see or pay more attention to? How can my body reflect that to me? And I allow it to. There's moments where I might push a little bit harder when I'm not ready, that my body's not ready, and it tells me. There are many things, or maybe one thing in your life that you're pushing too hard to fully manifest when it's not ready. It's still in the cocoon phase. So let it be. See? Awareness. Awareness is such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful thing. Other moments where I shy away from a pose, and it's like, why? Why are you shying away from this wonderful opportunity to be more yourself, to express more yourself, or to just really share more your gifts? See, this is something that we can see. And it's like, do you shy away from like really tough, really difficult situations, like a twist in the yoga asana practice? At times for me, it's very intense, and I used to shy away from it until I'd be like, let me stay here with another breath, consciously, with a good breath, and see where that takes me. And then I realized that in my life, I started to have more of this intense conversations that before I would just hide away from. See, it's a perfect opportunity to get to know yourself, a perfect opportunity. And ask somebody, you can send me a message like, how has my life changed? And I'm going to tell you actually, how has my life changed since I started practicing Yoga Asana? Let me tell you, and some of you that have been listening to the podcast for a while, and you've heard my story, I was massively depressed. I was massively suicidal. I self-sabotaged myself. Obviously, self-sabotage means yourself. This is why, English is not my first language. I self-sabotaged for over 20 years. And I just put myself in really ridiculous situations because I didn't believe that I was worthy or good enough. And I hated my body. I couldn't even look at my body. Now, honestly, I love it. It's my divine temple. I love myself more than I can express in words. And every day it continues to expand, because it's not that love is limited, it's limitless. but I get to know myself even more. And it was yoga the one that opened it up. It was yoga the one that started to open up my heart with all these backbends that were very difficult. Let me tell you, very, very difficult. But I allow it to, because I was like, there's something here, even though it's very challenging, I can feel the change in me. And I kept up with the practice and I became a yoga teacher. And from there, meditation with different kinds of modalities and energy work and all these things, because there was something that opened up in me through that practice, through the yoga asana practice. So I practice it like almost every day, 6 days a week. If I want to do a little flow on the 7th day, I do it. If not, I just rest. But I show up even when I don't want to show up, even when I feel lazy. That's exactly when I know I must show up. Because why? If I cannot show up for myself, nobody can do that for me. And that is what I have learned. The biggest learning experience of my yoga asana practice is showing up. So do you show up for yourself? Would you give an opportunity to show up in a different way that you have been showing up in your life? So I invite you, I invite you, go take a yoga class. If it's too challenging for you in a way and you just want to do it at home, this studio here in Lawrence offers also online classes. And let me tell you, Liliana, the owner of the studio, is the best yoga teacher I've had so far in this lifetime, and I love her. So check it out. The website is yellowbrickyoga.com. Send me a message. I will also put it in the comments. Just check out the classes. There's different teachers. I also teach Kundalini yoga there, but enough of the advertisement. But if you want to try it out and you don't feel in a way confident enough to go into a yoga studio, or maybe things are still closed around your area, check out something online, check out some videos on YouTube that gives you some kind of curiosity. Just do something different. So then you can expand in a different way that you have been expanding and going back into your own union, your own love that is our love, our love. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you next time.